Anna's carefree laugh echoed at the rooftop party, but her husband Mark's world shattered when he caught her kissing another man. "It's just a kiss," she smirked, dismissing his pain. She didn't know her betrayal had awakened a calculated genius. What Mark did next redefined digital revenge. Would you forgive a cheating spouse or fight back? Comment below and buckle up for a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and a comeback that'll leave you speechless. Mark Rivera leaned against the rooftop railing, the Miami skyline glittering below like a promise of endless possibility. The party pulsed around him. Influencers, entrepreneurs, and dealmakers clinking glasses under strings of golden lights. At 32, Mark had carved his place in this world, his cybersecurity firm a quiet powerhouse that turned startups into untouchable empires. Tonight, though, his focus wasn't on business. It was on his wife, Anna, who moved through the crowd with the ease of a woman born to be seen. Anna, 29, commanded attention without trying. Her lifestyle brand, built on wellness tips and curated perfection, had 250,000 followers hanging on her every post. Mark had been her foundation, funding her dreams with his company's profits, registering her brand under his corporate umbrella for tax breaks. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of believing they were a team. He watched her now, laughing with a group near the bar, her energy magnetic. But something felt off. Her laughter carried a note he didn't recognize, sharper than the warmth she used to reserve for him. Diego Alvarez stood too close to her. Anna's college ex, the one who'd left her heartbroken a decade ago, had reappeared 6 months back, all smooth talk and boutique marketing agency credentials. "He's just helping with brand deals," Anna had said when Mark raised an eyebrow. Purely professional. Mark had swallowed his unease, trusting her because he needed to. Her success was their success, her brand a shared victory. But Diego's presence tonight, his hand grazing Anna's arm as they whispered, stirred a cold knot in Mark's chest. He sipped his whiskey, the burn grounding him. Anna's brand was thriving, 6-figure sponsorships, viral videos, a life most dreamed of. Mark had made it possible, his servers hosting her website, his profits fueling her campaigns. Yet, as she tossed her head back, laughing at something Diego said, Mark felt like an outsider in his own marriage. He set his glass down, the clink lost in the party's hum, and moved closer, weaving through clusters of guests. Anna didn't see him approach. She was too caught up, her fingers brushing Diego's sleeve, her smile too bright, too intimate. Mark stopped a few feet away, hidden by a knot of influencers snapping selfies. His phone buzzed in his pocket, a client email, probably, but he ignored it. His gut, honed by years of spotting digital lies, screamed that something was wrong. Anna's eyes flicked to Diego's, holding his gaze a beat too long. Mark's pulse quickened. He'd always trusted her implicitly, but now doubt crept in like a virus. Diego leaned in, murmuring something that made Anna's lips curve. Mark's fingers tightened around his phone. He'd built his career on evidence, not hunches, but this felt personal, raw. He stepped back, blending into the crowd, and headed for the bar to clear his head. The bartender slid him another whiskey, but it tasted like ash. Anna and Diego were still talking, their heads bent close, oblivious to the party's chaos. Mark's mind raced. Was he overreacting? Or was this the first crack in the life they'd built? He glanced at his watch, 10:47 p.m. The night was young, but the air felt heavy, charged with something he couldn't name. Anna's brand was everything to her, but it existed because of him. His servers, his money, his trust. If that trust was misplaced, what else was at risk? He drained his glass and moved toward the edge of the rooftop, where the city's glow offered no answers. Anna's laughter rang out again, this time from the direction of a secluded balcony, partially hidden by ivy. Diego was with her. Mark's heart thudded. He needed to know. Slipping through the crowd, phone in hand, Mark approached the balcony. The ivy formed a natural curtain, perfect for private moments. He paused, breath shallow, and peered through a gap. Anna stood against the railing, Diego's hands framing her, their faces inches apart. Time slowed. Mark's thumb hovered over his phone's camera, instinct taking over. He hit record just as Diego leaned in. Anna tilted her face up, meeting his lips in a kiss that lasted 7 seconds. Not frantic, not stolen, comfortable, like they'd done it before. Mark's chest tightened, but his hand stayed steady, capturing every second. Anna's fingers grazed Diego's jacket, her smile soft when they parted. "I've missed you," she whispered, her voice carrying a warmth Mark hadn't heard in months. Diego's hands settled on her waist, and she didn't pull away. The video kept rolling, documenting the betrayal that rewrote Mark's reality. 5 years of love, trust, and shared dreams crumbled in those 7 seconds. He stepped back, silent, his cybersecurity training kicking in. Stay calm. Gather evidence. Think strategically. The party's noise faded as he processed what he'd seen. Anna and Diego returned separately, her lipstick flawless, his hair smoothed back. She found Mark by the bar, sliding her arm through his with a smile that now felt like a blade. "Having fun, babe?" she asked, her voice light, as if she hadn't just kissed another man. "Just thinking," Mark said, his tone even, masking the storm inside. "About what?" "Work." He met her eyes, searching for guilt. "None. Ready to go?" Anna nodded, humming as they left, already texting. "Probably Diego." In the car, her contentment filled the silence, while Mark's mind churned. The woman beside him wasn't who he thought. Tonight, he'd start uncovering who she really was. Mark Rivera sat in the driver's seat, the Miami streets blurring past as Anna hummed beside him, her fingers dancing across her phone. The video of her kissing Diego Alvarez burned in his pocket, each frame replaying in his mind. Her casual, "It's just a kiss, don't be insecure" from the night before echoed like a taunt, slicing through 5 years of trust. He gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles pale, but his face remained a mask of calm. Anna didn't notice, lost in her texting, her contentment a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside him. Back at their apartment, Anna kicked off her shoes and poured a glass of wine, her movements fluid, unburdened. "Great party, right? Those connections are gold for my brand," she said, scrolling through notifications. Mark nodded, his voice steady. "Yeah, great." He retreated to the guest room, claiming he needed space to think. Anna shrugged, unbothered, and headed to bed, her phone glowing with new messages. Mark locked the door, opened his laptop, and let his cybersecurity instincts take over. If Anna could lie so effortlessly, what else was she hiding? His fingers flew across the keyboard, installing keylogger software on their shared laptop. Every keystroke Anna made would now be his to see. He activated network monitoring on their home Wi-Fi, capturing every digital footprint. By 2 a.m., he'd slipped a GPS tracker into Anna's car, hidden beneath the driver's seat while she slept. His expertise in uncovering corporate secrets now turned inward, dissecting the life he thought he knew. If Anna was betraying him, the evidence would surface, and he'd be ready. Morning came, and Anna breezed out for yoga, her routine as predictable as her smile. Mark stayed behind, his laptop screen glowing with the first trickle of data. The keylogger pinged, revealing a message Anna had sent at 3 a.m. "Missed you tonight. Tomorrow?" The recipient was Diego. Mark's stomach twisted, but he kept digging. By noon, the keylogger had captured a thread of deleted texts, recovered from the laptop's cache. "Hotel Meridian, 1 p.m. Wednesday," Diego had written. "Mark's in meetings all day," Anna replied. The words landed like a punch, confirming the kiss wasn't a one-off. The GPS tracker painted a clearer picture. On Wednesday, while Anna claimed a brunch meeting, her car sat in the Hotel Meridian's lot for 3 hours. Mark cross-referenced the data with Diego's messages, pinpointing the same room number mentioned in their chats. This wasn't just flirting. Anna had been meeting Diego for months, weaving a web of lies while Mark funded her empire. His hands shook as he saved the evidence, each file a brick in the case he was building. By Thursday, the scope of Anna's deception unfolded. The keylogger revealed 4 months of flirty exchanges, plans for business lunches that were hotel rendezvous, and deleted photos Anna had sent Diego. Intimate, private, meant to stay hidden. Mark's heart raced, not with anger, but with clarity. The woman he loved had been living a double life, funded by his trust, his money, his servers. He called his lawyer, voice low. "I need options for divorce and asset protection. Anna's having an affair." The lawyer's response was immediate. "With your business owning her brand, you're in control. Evidence strengthens your case." Mark hung up, his mind shifting from pain to strategy. Anna's brand, her website, social media, ad revenue, all ran through his company's infrastructure. She'd signed the paperwork without reading, trusting him to handle the boring stuff. That trust was now her vulnerability. He didn't want to destroy her yet. He wanted her to feel safe, to think her dismissal had worked. The deeper her confidence, the harder the fall. Friday morning, Anna left for a spa day, her car heading straight to another hotel. Mark watched the GPS dot on his screen, his jaw tight. He met his lawyer in a downtown office, handing over a flash drive with the evidence, texts, GPS logs, hotel receipts. She's an employee of my company, technically, Mark said. Her brand's mine. The lawyer nodded, flipping through the files. Adultery, documented, gives you leverage. You can end her career or offer a clean exit. Your call. Mark drove home, the weight of his plans settling in. Anna returned that evening, glowing, oblivious, and slid her arm around him. Tough day, babe? You look stressed. Her voice was sweet, practiced, but Mark saw through it now. Just work, he said, his eyes on her phone as it buzzed with a new message. Diego, no doubt. He smiled, the gesture mechanical. Let's have dinner tomorrow. Just us. Anna agreed, unsuspecting, as Mark finalized his next move in silence. Mark Rivera woke at 5 a.m., the Miami dawn barely breaking as he sat at his desk, laptop open, his plan ready. Anna slept soundly in their bedroom, unaware that her empire was about to implode. Mark's week of investigation had uncovered her affair with Diego Alvarez. Months of lies, hotel meetups, and deleted messages. Her dismissive, "it's just a kiss," had triggered his cybersecurity instincts, and now, with evidence in hand, he was ready to act. His fingers moved with precision, executing a digital strike honed by years of protecting corporate secrets. Anna's brand, her website, social media, ad revenue, relied entirely on Mark's company infrastructure. She'd handed him the keys years ago, trusting his expertise to manage her digital backbone. That trust was now his weapon. At 6 a.m., he logged into the admin panel of her website, hosted on his servers, and transferred all privileges to his sole control. Passwords for her social media management tools became random strings, locking her out. He rerouted ad revenue to a new account she couldn't touch. By 6:30, her business email access was revoked, every login attempt doomed to fail. Mark sipped his coffee, the screen glowing with error logs as Anna's assistant tried accessing the content calendar, denied. Scheduled posts for her 250,000 followers stalled, leaving her account silent. At 7 a.m., he uploaded a message to her website. Brand under review due to violations of trust. Updates pending. Clean, professional, devastating. Anna's phone, charging by her bedside, would soon explode with notifications, but Mark wanted her to wake to chaos, to feel the ground vanish beneath her. By 8 a.m., the first cracks appeared. Anna's assistant called her, voice frantic, reporting locked accounts and failed posts. Anna stumbled into the kitchen, phone in hand, swiping through error messages. "Mark, something's wrong," she said, her voice tight with panic. "My website's down, my accounts are locked. Everything's broken." Mark looked up from his tablet, feigning concern. "That's odd. Maybe a hack. I'll check it out." Her relief was instant, her trust in him unshaken. She had no idea he was the architect of her collapse. While Anna paced, calling her assistant to troubleshoot, Mark monitored the fallout. Sponsors emailed, demanding answers about missed posts. Her follower count dipped as fans noticed the silence, some jumping to competitors' pages. Anna tried logging in from her laptop, her fingers shaking as passwords failed. "This can't be happening," she muttered, dialing her web host, Mark's company. The call went to voicemail, a loop she'd never escape. Mark watched, his face neutral, as her empire unraveled in real time. He left for his office at 9 a.m., promising to fix the issue. In reality, he met his lawyer to finalize the next phase. The evidence, texts, GPS logs, hotel receipts, sat in a secure folder, ready to justify his actions. "Her brand's legally mine," Mark said, sliding the flash drive across the desk. "She signed it over years ago." The lawyer nodded. "You've got her cornered. Divorce papers are ready, with a severance offer. She can take it or face public exposure." Mark's jaw tightened. "I want her to choose." Back home, Anna was in full damage control, using a backup Instagram account to post a vague apology. Technical issues, working on it. Comments flooded in, confused fans, angry sponsors, and trolls smelling blood. Her follower count dropped by 10,000 in hours. She called Diego, her voice low, but his number rang unanswered. Mark had anticipated this. Diego's social media showed he'd left Miami that morning, likely sensing trouble. Anna was alone, her lifeline cut. Mark returned at noon, carrying a briefcase with 3 manila envelopes. Anna looked up, eyes red from stress. "Did you fix it?" she asked, desperation creeping in. Mark shook his head. "I found the problem." He opened his laptop, showing a spreadsheet of her betrayals, timestamps of texts, hotel visits, lies. "You've been meeting Diego for months. It wasn't just a kiss." Anna's face drained of color, her phone slipping from her hand. You spied on me, she whispered. I protected what's mine, Mark said, voice steady. Our network, our devices, our business, all legally under my control. He slid the first envelope across the counter. Screenshots of her affair, undeniable proof. Anna's hands trembled as she scanned the pages, her lies laid bare. This is my life, she said, voice breaking. Mark opened the second envelope. Contracts proving her brand belonged to his company. You built it on my foundation. Now it's gone. The third envelope held divorce papers and a $50,000 offer to walk away quietly. Anna stared, her world collapsing. You can't do this, she said, but her voice lacked conviction. Mark leaned in, his eyes cold. Sign, or I post everything. Your fans, your sponsors, they'll know who you really are. He showed her a draft post, a factual takedown of her deception, ready to go live. Anna's breath hitched. She was trapped, her empire dust, her affair exposed, and her husband the one holding the match. Mark Rivera stood in the kitchen, the weight of 3 manila envelopes on the counter anchoring the silence. Anna's hands shook as she stared at the evidence of her affair with Diego Alvarez. Screenshots, hotel receipts, GPS logs, each document a nail in the coffin of her crumbling empire. Her phone buzzed relentlessly, notifications piling up from sponsors demanding answers and fans abandoning her silent accounts. Mark's voice was steady, cutting through her panic. Sign the papers, Anna. Take the $50,000 and leave, or I release everything. Anna's eyes darted to the third envelope. Divorce papers with a severance offer, her last chance to escape with something. You're destroying me, she whispered, her voice cracking. Mark shook his head. You destroyed us. I'm just stopping the lies. He opened his laptop, the draft post exposing her betrayal glowing on the screen. One click, and her 240,000 followers would see her as a fraud. Anna's breath caught, her fingers hovering over the papers. She grabbed her phone, dialing Diego again. No answer. His social media was dark, his Miami exit confirmed by a mutual friend's text. She slumped against the counter, her backup Instagram account now bleeding followers, down 15,000 since morning. Sponsors emailed ultimatums, threatening to pull contracts. Anna typed a frantic message to her assistant. Tell them it's a glitch, buy time. But her assistant replied, they're asking for proof of engagement. I can't access anything. Anna's world, built on Mark's servers and trust, was slipping through her fingers. She looked at him, pleading. Fix this, Mark. You can fix this. I could, he said, closing the laptop. But I won't. You made your choice months ago. He slid the divorce papers closer, a pen on top. Anna's eyes welled up, but Mark's face was unyielding, his cybersecurity precision now a weapon turned inward. She'd underestimated him, dismissing his pain as insecurity, and now faced a man who'd dismantled her life with surgical accuracy. You have until tomorrow morning, he said. Sign, or the post goes live. Anna spent the night on the phone, trying to salvage her brand. She called sponsors, spinning stories of a cyber attack, but they demanded access to analytics locked on Mark's servers. Her backup account posted a shaky video. We're fixing technical issues, stay with me. Comments turned vicious, speculation about infidelity, fans jumping ship. By midnight, her follower count dropped to 220,000. She texted Diego again, begging for support, but his number was disconnected. He'd vanished, leaving her to face the wreckage alone. Mark slept in the guest room, the signed divorce papers already filed with the court via his lawyer. He'd prepared for every move, his evidence airtight, his legal position ironclad. Anna's brand was his company's property, her contracts, trademarks, revenue streams all tied to his firm. She'd been an employee, not an owner, a fact she'd ignored in her ambition. Mark's phone pinged with an email from his lawyer, papers filed, assets protected. She has no claim. He exhaled, the weight of betrayal heavy but his path clear. Morning broke, and Anna sat at the kitchen counter, the divorce papers untouched. Her eyes were red, her phone dead from overuse. I didn't mean for this, she said as Mark entered, coffee in hand. It was a mistake. Mark set his mug down, unmoved. 4 months of hotel rooms isn't a mistake. It's a choice. He opened the second envelope, spreading contracts across the counter. Your brand was mine from the start. You're fired, Anna. Sign, or lose everything publicly. Anna's hand trembled as she picked up the pen. Her empire was gone, website down, accounts locked, sponsors fleeing. She signed the papers, each stroke a surrender of the life she'd built on Mark's foundation. What happens now? She asked, voice hollow. Mark slid the severance agreement forward. You get $50,000. Move out by next week. Or I post the truth, and your career's over for good. He walked to his office, leaving her with the wreckage of her choices. By noon, Anna packed a suitcase, her calls to friends unanswered as rumors spread. Her assistant quit, citing unprofessional conduct. Mark's firm, meanwhile, landed a new client, its reputation untouched. Anna moved to a hotel, her phone still buzzing with angry sponsor emails. She posted one last plea on her backup account. I'm taking a break to reset. It gained 200 likes, a shadow of her former reach. Mark watched from his office, the divorce filing confirmed, his heart scarred, but his future his own. 6 months after signing the divorce papers, Anna sat alone in a cramped Miami studio apartment, the hum of a cheap air conditioner her only company. Her phone screen glowed with job rejections, marketing firms, retail, even freelance gigs, none willing to touch an influencer whose brand had imploded overnight. Her follower count, once 250,000, now languished at 31,000. Her posts ignored, her sponsors long gone. She scrolled through Mark Rivera's company website, his cybersecurity firm now landing multi-million-dollar contracts, his success a stark contrast to her fall. Anna's fingers hovered over a text to Mark. Can we talk? She hit send, the word delivered, staring back, unanswered. Mark hadn't blocked her, a silent choice that stung more than rejection. Hope became her punishment, a flicker of possibility that he might respond, though she knew forgiveness was out of reach. She opened a job board, typing social media manager into the search bar, but her resume, tied to a now toxic brand, drew no bites. Her bank account held $12,000 of the $50,000 severance, the rest eaten by rent and legal fees. Mark, meanwhile, worked late at his downtown office, finalizing a deal with a tech giant. His firm's reputation had soared, his name synonymous with trust in a digital age. He'd rebuilt his life, moving into a new condo, the memories of Anna's betrayal boxed away with the divorce papers. His phone buzzed with her message, but he swiped it away, focusing on a client email. He hadn't destroyed Anna. He'd simply withdrawn the support she'd exploited. Her choices had done the rest. Anna's days blended into a cycle of applications and silence. She tried posting a comeback video on a new account, starting fresh, lessons learned, but it gained 47 views, buried under algorithms that no longer favored her. Former friends, once eager for her clout, stopped replying. Diego Alvarez, her affair partner, had vanished. His marketing agency shuttered after clients fled. Anna learned through a mutual contact he'd moved to Chicago, leaving no trace. She was alone, her ambition reduced to survival. Mark met with his lawyer over lunch, discussing a new venture, a nonprofit to teach digital literacy to small businesses. You've moved on, the lawyer said, glancing at the news of Anna's failed relaunch. Mark nodded, his voice quiet. She made her choices. I made mine. He'd protected his assets, his company, his peace. The divorce was final, Anna's claim to his empire nullified by the contracts she'd signed without reading. His victory was legal, clean, and final. Anna walked to a corner store, buying instant noodles with a card that barely cleared. Back in her apartment, she opened her laptop, staring at an email from a former sponsor. We're pursuing breach of contract damages. Her stomach sank. She'd lost everything. Her brand, her network, her marriage, because she'd dismissed Mark's love as weakness. Now, eating under flickering lights, she saw the cost of her betrayal. A notification pinged, a job offer, part-time, minimum wage, at a local cafe. She accepted, her influencer dreams dead. Mark attended a tech conference that evening, speaking on cybersecurity ethics to a packed room. Questions about his personal life stayed unanswered. He let his work speak. His phone buzzed again, another text from Anna. I'm sorry. He read it, then locked the screen. She'd called his pain insecurity, and now lived with the consequences. He hadn't sought revenge. He'd enforced accountability, letting her actions unravel her world. Anna lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, her phone dark. She opened a notebook, jotting down ideas for a blog, raw, honest, about her mistakes. It was a long shot, but the only path left. She typed a post. I lost everything by betraying trust. Here's what I learned. It went live, unseen by most, but it felt like a step. Mark, miles away, finalized his nonprofit's launch, his focus on building, not destroying. Their paths had diverged, her fall a mirror to his rise. The story closed with Anna's quiet resolve and Mark's forward momentum. Her betrayal had cost her everything, but his response, Calculated, legal, restrained, left no room for pity. He hadn't broken her. He'd let her break herself. Viewers were left with a question. Was Mark's justice fair, or did his silence cut too deep? Comments flooded in, some praising his strength, others debating the weight of his response, all grappling with the cost of trust in a digital world.